Hello,
And welcome back.
I'm Ian.
I'm Steve.
We are going to talk today about the system component of the Scene 2 of the adventure we are designing for the Downbelow RPG.
Now, the four possible outcomes, and we did come up with the fourth from the last scene, were summed up in layman's terms. Number one, we have no contacts, we have to go this alone. Number two, this seems like the work of identity launderers. Number three, I've got some friends, let's get help from them. And number four, we can't trust our friends, we have to trust each other / our enemies, etc., etc., etc. So, Ian, how are we going to take those scenes and mechanically turn them into interstitial ones?
So the thing is, you're going to arrive at this main story point of the meeting of the player characters' minds in different ways depending on how you went about the initial thrown together in a cell scene. And so how you get here is going to vary from group to group. Some groups will have done absolutely nothing before they were thrown together when their prison vehicles crashed and they became fugitives on the lam. And so they're going to have all of their potential successes available to them. Some of them will have spent several successes already, will have more idea of the plot already, and will be having more tension because they are lower on resources already. So you've got a variety of different things here that you could be in, and I'm going to talk about, based on the direction that the player characters are going, how you should be running this. If the player characters are running in the direction of their contacts, then that puts you in either the I have friends or the I have untrustworthy friends ends to the scene. You can influence which of these you want to do. If the players have government or underworld contacts, you should try to make them seem untrustworthy. Because the government just screwed you guys, and so it should seem kind of suspect to be going back to government contacts, especially if they are with the Yggdrasil Corporation that runs Nuevo Paradiso, or with the Chinese government. And if they're criminals, they're criminals. They should always seem somewhat untrustworthy. Now, if they have the contact as a trait on their sheet, that means that they can use the contact to succeed at something. But the success may well be a qualified success. It may come with side effects. You go to this contact, you know that you're going to be doing a little tit for tat. Or you know that it's going to come with stipulations. If they have professional contacts or other contacts that are outside of the untrustworthy sphere and that I have just defined, and they trust them just fine, then you can go ahead and let them try to go to them. Going to the trustworthy contacts is going to be more of a, well, they don't necessarily have directly the resources that the PCs need, but they will do what they can because they are contacts and they will try to help. But most of them are not going to do anything that would get them arrested themselves. That would take multiple successes to convince most people to do, because getting arrested for something serious like harboring a fugitive tends to put a crimp in most people's lifestyle plans. So, moving on to the other possibilities. Easy possibility is we're going to have to go this alone. We're going to have to go this alone is probably not a let's fight the system, and it's probably going to be a we need to hide out sort of response, because if they don't feel like they have a handle, the PCs are probably not going to be in any kind of position to fight what's happening to them. There are some exceptions, but I will deal with those more on the basis of the this seems like the work of identity launderers, because that could be done whether they have contacts or not. Basically, if the players look like they don't know what to do, try and steer the challenges that you present them towards hiding themselves. Or, if they look like they're going to hide themselves, deal with it on the basis of covering their tracks, finding a safe house, that sort of thing. Because that will take them in a particular direction that you know how to plan for. finally, this seems like the work of identity launderers, as we say in a 60s Adam West Batman style. The players might choose to directly fight the conspiracy against them. This could mean with actual fighting violence, in the case of trying to find somebody responsible and beat them against the wall until they tell them what's going on, or just to get revenge. Or it might mean more of a trying to get the real evidence, prove that the evidence against them was doctored, etc. And this may be possible at this point, because if they can use the right skills or other traits in the right ways to find criminals who do this sort of thing, find out what was done, find the original records, prove that they were doctored. It's going to take several steps for each one of them, but it's going to get easier after the first time they do it. And that is a direction that they could go. And from there, they could either simply go into the prove that I'm innocent and get out of this, or into the deeper, oh shit, there's a really deep conspiracy and trying to delve into it angle. And either way is fine for this adventure.
And that's actually something I'm going to start talking about next time as we take a break from going strictly scene by scene, and I talk about a couple options. For now, we're out of time for today.
And we have come to the end of the subject. So tomorrow we will talk about pulling back and directions for this adventure.